hail Biafra. This is Biafra Liberation Army Network coming to you again. Please do subscribe, like, share, and comment.
Governs Okwama community and the other communities, shedding tears, crying like a baby after being dehumanized. Look at him, he's crying. He's crying, my people. This is what the Nigerian military are doing to our kings, to our traditional rulers. He was punished and he was made to cry like a baby. He was abused. Watch our king cry. I just want you all to picture this in your mind. The kings in Biafra land shedding tears. Just watch. Just watch this. Watch this. Our king shedding their tears this way. Will the emir of the north, of the Fulani cabal, ever go through this? Even the Seriki that they even have in the north and in the south, will they ever be subjected to something like this? When have you ever seen a king being dehumanized this way? Looking at the background, what you are seeing is a military tribunal in a so-called democracy. The thing in the envelope is his properties in a so-called democracy. This man you are seeing here, my people, this king was shackled to the ground. He went to present himself to the police station, and the police, they told him, this one is bigger than us. They didn't take no statement from this man. Instead, he was shackled from the hands to the feet. He was put on chains from his hand to his feet. The police bundled him to the military. And now from the background you are seeing, from those flags you are seeing, the red and the yellow flag, you can tell this man was placed in a tribunal, and he was just yesterday left on house arrest, not even freed. A king treated this way. Will the zoo or those who believe in the zoo ever see an emir go through this? But now the Fulani Caliphate, they have brought it to even our traditional rulers, our traditional ways of doing things. Our spirituality is being affected because of the love of the oil under the pretense of one Nigeria. Let's continue. Today, I will take my time to calmly and with pain analyze this video. This king was humiliated over something he knows nothing about. He has tried his best to keep his chin up. He even tried to smile, to pretend as if everything was well. When you hear the audio of what happened here, it will blow your mind. It took the intervention of a Senate from Delta State. A senator from Delta State came and pleaded before this man was placed under his care as house arrest. This is the humiliation they are putting even our leaders, our spiritual leaders, our traditional leaders. This is what they are going through in the one Nigeria that you all love. To fellow Biafrans and those out there, if you're ready to watch this video, come along with me in this journey and I'll break it down. But I feel very, very heartbroken. I feel dismayed. I feel sad. And I feel let down by the world and also my people that believe in one Nigeria. It's gotten to an extent now that you now have a military rule running side by side with a so-called democracy. That somebody under a democracy, a so-called democracy, would go through this. Where is that done in the world? The military has no power to do this in a democracy. But when we tell you your Nigeria is a banana republic, most of you don't understand what we are saying. When we are saying Nigeria has been hijacked, most of you don't understand. Look at the man giving a statement, a military man. Looking at this picture, you would think you are already under a military junta. A king was court-martialed. He went through a military tribunal and was not even set free. He was placed under house arrest now as we speak. He is not going to his house. He is going to the custody of a senator after being held for 4 weeks. There was no court case to try him. Where is the saying that you are innocent until proven guilty? Our own king had no privilege. His rights were taken off him. This only happens when it comes to the land of Biafra. You treat a king this way because you said some of your men, they kicked the bucket when they went to Okwama. But just some few days ago in Niger State, similar thing happened to your military men and nothing was done to them. Just last year in Niger State, more than 20 military men kicked the bucket and nothing happened to the community. Every day as we speak in the north, Fulani men, Fulani headsmen, Boko Haram, ISWAP, ISIS, they are taking down your Christian soldiers, your Igbo and Yoruba soldiers who are Christians in the north. They fall every day. But nothing like that is done. What you gave to Okwama, the havoc, the pillaging, the killing you brought to Okwama was not met in the northern states. Lord have mercy. But when it comes to the land of Biafra, that is when you see the might of the Zoo military. That is when you see the actions or inactions of the Fulani Caliphate. That is when you see the president, unfortunately, a Yoruba president, again, skipping to the loo, bowing down, kissing the ass of the military by going all out to destroy and pillage a land in Biafra. My people, I am angry. I am vexed today. What you are saying is a civilian going through a military tribunal. In America, we call it being court-martialed. Let's take it back. I want you to watch what happened. Hear the audio. See what this man here is saying. And it will blow your mind. Listen. That's him there looking really, really shocked. The king of Okwama. Not just Okwama, around the whole different communities. The king who has nothing to do with what happened. Look at him looking shocked. He's in deep shock. He's going through trauma. Even the way they bundled this man, his hands and legs were chained to the ground. They took him in chains. The police took him in chains to the military. Just watch. Watch his face. Watch his reaction. See the pain, the shock, the agony in this man's face. Oh God, my God, Allah, my God, have mercy. Jesus Christ. Wow, God have mercy. God. Watch this man killing in his face, crying, he's in tears, but he's trying to keep a bold front. You see him wiping his eyes. As the saying goes, you never see a man cry until you see a man dies. For the fact that this man was allowed by a system, under a democratic so-called system, under a democratic government, he was allowed to go through this. He was allowed to be subjugated. He was allowed to be dehumanized by the system. And now look at him going through tears. The pain of knowing you are innocent, but a system defined you as being guilty. Ah, God.
Good governance. In all theaters.
Look at his face.
I equally want to thank all distinguished men as you travel back to your various time for
Look at the king shedding his tears, wiping his eyes. A king, somebody being held on a very high esteem, on a very high pedestal. Look at him shedding tears. To the Biafrans out there, even to the Yorubas out there that believe in Nigeria. This is what the Fulani Caliphate, they are doing to your people. They are doing to your culture. They are doing to your tradition. They are doing to those who rule you. They have come to destroy the main fabric that controls who you are. They are destroying the fabric that defines who you are. That even now your traditional institutions are being affected. They don't respect your kings anymore. I can bet you my life that this will never happen to the emir of Sokoto or wherever you want to call. I can assure you this will never happen to even a Sariki. Those they call the Serikis, this will never happen to them. But this is happening to a king in the land of Biafra. I want this to go deep into your mind. All those out there that say you believe in Nigeria, you say you love your military, you say God bless Nigeria, you say Nigeria go better. See what your Nigeria, your loving Nigeria is doing to the indigenous people of that land. What is it that you love of a country treating people like slaves in their own country? What do you love of a country, a government, a contraption, treating people like second-class citizens in their own land? Pictures like this could only be seen during the time of colonialism. When Britain came with the colonial rule, things like this could only be seen. We saw the pictures of Oba, Ovorawe, and the rest of them. Things like this could only be done under a colonialism or slavery. Where foreigners will come, they don't respect your culture, they don't respect your tradition, they don't respect your spirituality, they don't respect your way of life, they don't even respect your God. That's when you see things like this, where they dehumanize your leaders, your traditional rulers, and the rest of them. That's the only time you see things like this. Not under a nation. In a nation, people come under one accord. They agree that we, the people, we have chosen to bring our differences to the table, and we shall respect our differences. And going forward, there will be laws written in stones, written in black and white, to say you coming from the north, you coming from the east, from the west, or wherever, or even the middle belt, you must respect my culture. You must respect my tradition. You must respect my norms, my way of life. That's when we come under this unity, when we say we now have a country that will now transcend into a nation, we are agreeing on these principles. It will be signed on stones, signed with the blood of the people to uphold and respect the people. That is when you now have what they call the rule of law. That is when you bet the rule of law. You give bet to the rule of law. When a people come under one accord, under one voice, and declare that they are ready to form a union known as a nation, not a country. Nigeria was a contraption created by Britain for business. In Nigeria, what you have is a country. It is not a nation until the people come together and agree. Just like in the Bible, when God said, let us make man in our image and after our likeness. An agreement. From the agreement, you bet a nation. When you hear about the birth of a nation, that is how it moves. That is how things are done in the Western world, where we live, and we have learned the way of the Western world. But you expect people like us to come back to that zoo and start living like slaves? Over my dead body. Would that happen? Me and my household, me and my people, we shall never integrate into a burning house. We shall never integrate into this thing you call Nigeria, into that nonsense, that contraption, that banana republic you call a country. Over my dead body. It is Biafra or nothing else. You guys are not civilized. You say you love Nigeria. What is it that you love in that contraption? That a king from a different tribe. Oh, I get it. Because this king is not from Sokoto. He is not from Kaduna. He is not from Niger. He is not from Borno. He is not from Bauchi. He is not from Katsina. Then you will treat him this way. You will treat him this way. But when somebody who is a Christian, they write an exam and they thank Jesus, they thank God for passing the exam. You apply your own rules on them. You condemn them by your own rules, and you say what they have done is blasphemy. With your own rule, with your own tradition, you condemn somebody. With your own religion, you condemn somebody who is not even part of your own religion. But now you have come to the south. You don't want to respect the tradition of the people. Hi, God have mercy. This beats my imagination, my people. Very, very sad, this one. It hits me somehow. It hits different. Seeing a king being dehumanized. So such a, oh my God. Okay, let's continue. He's still crying. He's still crying. The fact the guy who made this video was cutting it shot by shot to remove where he was shedding tears. It got to a stage he bowed down in tears. Both of his hands. He was crying. A king was crying. A Biafran king was treated this way. He was dehumanized. A man who thought he was following the law. Probably somewhere like this, he believes in Nigeria. He believes in the rule of law. This man, he presented himself. He presented himself to the police. And he was dehumanized. The police told him, at this case, we cannot deal with your case. suddenly the constitution of Nigeria, that Nigeria you love, it was paused in the case of this man. The so-called democratic system you practice, the democracy you practice was paused in the case of this king. And it was handed over to the military. And you guys think Tinubu is the one ruling that country called Nigeria? Let's continue. Very, very sad. This one is sad. It hits different. That's him being handed over to a senator for a house arrest. The Royal Highness is being handed over to a senator. He's not yet freed. He's placed under house arrest in a military rule, and this man cannot go to court. He cannot go to court to fight for his fundamental human rights. Suddenly, the court has no power. Suddenly, the court cannot even apply their so-called... Oh, my God.